it is our elite entries segment where we will dive into the Prize Picks app to build some entries. So you are going to identify some markets you like, and everyone else gets to build their own Prize Picks entries if they like what you have to say, and we all get to have some fun and make a little money. So hit us with some week 6 Thursday night plays that you like.
Yeah, so we've got Bucks and Eagles, and to put on my NFL analyst hat here a little bit, the key here in this matchup is the Eagles love to run the ball. They're very good at it. Jalen Hurts is a good runner, and they have been very efficient with running. I know Miles Sanders has been frustrating as a fantasy owner, but they're running well. They're running efficiently. They are top 5 in run DVOA. The problem is that Tampa Bay has been unrunnable upon. That's a word, right? You can't run on the Bucks, to the point that multiple teams this year have just not even tried. They're not even trying to run the ball. We've seen game scripts where there's just like 5, 6, 7 carries all game. Nick Sirianni, the new coach for the Eagles, he's been making a lot of smart decisions. They're going for 2, they're going for 4th down. That reads to me like a coach that's going to look at this matchup and be like, yeah, I don't think we're going to run on this team. We're going to have to win this another way. And the other way is throwing against Tampa Bay secondary. Secondary is really banged up. Carlton Davis is on IR. Sean Murphy-Bunting is out. Jamel Dean, I think, is back, but that still is 2 of the 3 corners. Antoine Winfield is question mark. Tampa secondary is very leaky. And that's the problem with the team right now. So to me, that's the matchup, is the play to exploit is I'm expecting the Eagles to be throwing a lot more than usual. So I'm going to stay away from Eagles running and expect that the Eagles passing might go well, especially I think we're going to get a lot of kind of check downs and underneath stuff. I expect Tampa to try to take away, like they know their secondary is not great, so they're going to try to take some of that away. But I expect a lot of check down stuff. So 2 guys that I like here to start out, Miles Sanders and Zach Ertz. I'm going to take both of their over receiving yards. So Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert is out. So the two tight end head machine is only one this week. Goddard has been averaging 4 targets a game. Zach Ertz has had 6 or more targets each of the last 3 weeks. So if you assume that he's going to pick up those 6 or more targets and get some of the Goddard targets as well, then over 44.5 yards looks good for him. That's not a lot of catches, even for a tight end. You don't have to get too much to get there. Miles Sanders, over 23.5 receiving yards. Sanders is a nice receiver when he remembers how to catch the ball. I don't think he's going to be running a whole lot this game, but I do think he'll be out there. So he's had 3 catches or more in 4 of the 5 games so far, usually around 7 yards a catch. So that is a good spot for him to get into the mid-20s and hit the over there. What do you think about Sanders or Ertz so far?
Yeah, I totally agree with you in terms of the game script that we saw it with the Patriots, that they had -4 rushing yards. Their best rusher was Nelson Aguilar in that game. As one predicts. And last week we saw, I sat Myles Gaskin, by the way, and thinking there's no way.
You should have.
There's no way he can do anything against this Bucs defense. And look what they did. They peppered him with targets, 10 targets, which he had 0 targets in the week prior. So yeah, teams are just going to scheme and make it work because they know they can't run on the team. So I agree with you. The Miles Sanders one at 23.5 absolutely stood out to me first. And then, yeah, Ertz at this point just feels like almost like a free space. Like he's like the guy that I am going to be pumping up all week. And I have not checked his price on DraftKings or anything, but certainly feels like he is definitely a guy that you would want to invest in.
Yeah, so Ertz and Miles Sanders, we like the overs. I've got a few more overs to add on to the same sort of position.
Love it. We love the overs.
Yeah, you gotta love overs. Overs, they're just more fun to root for. And look,
Absolutely.
If we're playing the game script, you want to play the same angle. That's the whole point of a same, putting things together from the same game. The idea is not to just pick 4 or 5 things that you like, but to actually say, okay, if this one happens, then this other thing is also more likely to happen. These are not independent variables, as we math nerds would say. So the other one I like here is another Eagles receiving over. I love DeVonta Smith. Rookie receiver, has been looking awesome. We apparently decided that he won the Heisman last year. Receivers never win the Heisman, but he was so awesome that we had to give him the Heisman. And then we were like, nah, actually, let's not have him be the top receiver in the draft. Let's not even have him be the top guy from his own college team in the draft. He's too skinny.
Because of his
Guess what?
guy. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, guess what? Not too skinny. Turns out he's pretty good. He's averaging almost 8 targets a game. He's had at least 6 receptions and at least 71 yards in 3 of the 5 games. So against the secondary, he's the guy that the Bucs are going to try to take away, but he's going to get open. He can always on even one play pick up a huge chunk of this. So over 71 and a half yards for him. I like that too. And then if we're really playing 3 Eagles dudes to go over their receiving yards, it only makes sense to me that you got to play Jalen Hurts over as well, 280.5 passing yards. If you're playing the other 3 guys anyway, you know that Hurts is going to get a lot of yards. He's already halfway there just for you to hit those 3 overs. So I'm just going to go in on the Eagles and in on this bad Bucs secondary right now and see them get a lot of yards. And maybe the Eagles are behind all game. Maybe they're going to be throwing and trying to catch up and playing the game script. So I like all the Eagles overs.
I mean, it makes me a little nervous. I don't know if it makes you a little bit nervous to like make this whole sort of script in our heads that relies on Jalen Hurts passing a ton. Now I know the Bucs defense, pass defense is terrible. But no, I mean, I agree with you on the Smith take for sure at 71 and a half. It seems like a really, really big number. Like I feel like Cup last week was only like 80 or maybe in the 70s or something like that. So that's a really big number, but he also is like one of, I think, 8 receivers that has at least 40% of his team's air yards. I really, really like what I've seen from him so far. And I think he's definitely a candidate to have a monster game this week. So definitely like that. And then agree with you in terms of logic that if we're just going to go all overs, we have to take the Hurts one. So fingers crossed, he is my quarterback in the Scott Fish Bowl. So I'm hoping for a big game there.
And let me throw in one more too. If you don't have to play all of these, you can make your own PrizePicks entry, win your own thing. But since this was a question from, I think, Pats fan 2121, I'm going to assume that this was a person that enjoys a little Tom Brady in their life. So if you want to get crazy, a Tom Brady one that you can add in here, Tom Brady over 1.5 rushing yards. Tom Brady did not have a run the first week of the season. This is like an octogenarian out here playing football, but it doesn't matter. He's been running. Think about each game you watch. Every time, Chris Collinsworth is like, oh my God, Tom Brady, look at that. He ran for 4 yards. He's galloping. He's Michael Vick out there.
That's running.
Yeah. So last 4 games, Brady has 6, 14, 3, and 13 rushing yards. And the 3 was only that low because he had a few kneel downs at the end to bring the number down. So 1.5 yards. Look, that could be sneaks. Brady loves the sneak. So all we need is 1 scramble. What more ridiculous thing than having your money on the line, waiting all game for 1 chance for that pocket to collapse? And the Eagles pass rush pretty good, chance to get home. You just need Brady to step up, fall forward for 2 yards, and add that last one in. So if you want to go crazy, go for a higher result there. I like that one too.
I love this one. This one is a fun one for sure. And with Brady, like maybe ailing with his hand, who knows? He could definitely do a QB sneak. So I love this one for sure. So did you want to recap the 5 picks that we have just to
Sure.
wrap it up?
So all in on Eagles passing overs. We've got Miles Sanders over 23.5 receiving yards, Zach Ertz over 44.5 receiving yards, DeVonta Smith 71.5 yards receiving over, Jalen Hurts, 280.5 passing yards. We're going over on that one. And if you want, add in that Tom Brady over 1.5 rushing yards.
We almost hit 4 for 4 last week. So this is going to be the week. We're going to hit all 5. As a reminder, guys, you can mix and match fantasy points and player props to make your lineups really spicy. Also, PrizePicks markets really move very fast, so you will want to be nimble to lock in the best numbers. If you have not created a PrizePicks account yet, please check the link in our episode description because PrizePicks has a special offer for Fantasy Flex listeners. They will match your first deposit up to $100. Just click the link in our episode description or visit prizepicks.com and use promo code ACTION10.